Since we took over the operations of power distribution from Mweme on the 1st of April 2025, the operations are going on well. Power supply is steady. The teams in the field, the staff serving the customers, connections have resumed, they are going on. The vending systems are fine. So we are seeing stability, there's no problem during the transition, and our objective of having a seamless transfer of systems and business, we believe we're on the right track and we've achieved it. Now, being our second day of operation, what we've now gone in is to do mapping of those feeders, transformers, and those weak points that we need to start with. And from that mapping, we shall be in a position now to start deploying materials. We believe that in the first 90 days, all the weak points which are causing what we call firefighting in the engineering terms might have been fairly stabilized, but the detailed engineering and fixing will go on up to the next 9 months. Then we'll go into what we call the preventive maintenance, which is usually pre-programmed. But what we are going to do, that as soon as we start the maintenance schedule, we are going to be communicating to our customers, alerting them the time zones and the feeders which are going to be affected as we fix those areas that need to be fixed. But we believe all will be fine because we have the materials, we have the teams stationed, and the logistics that are required to do the needful as planned. As a licensee, my duty is to make sure that I fulfill the ERA parameters. That's one. The second issue is to make sure that I source for low-cost capital. So from the beginning, we have been in position to source for low-cost capital. And we need to thank the government and the regulator for this environment of low-cost capital. Then, because we've achieved that target of getting low-cost capital, it has enabled us to plan for a fair investment. The approved investment plan for this year up to December 2025 is $74 million. We believe when that money is deployed, it will be in a position to enable us to achieve the regulatory targets, because the regulatory targets are also part of the factor that improves the tariff. To be in a position to do the cash collection, to manage the energy losses. The target that we are given is 14.59%, and also to make power available up to 95%. If we achieve those three, and we add on these other variables of managing staff, logistics, and safety, we shall be in a position to achieve what we wanted and go on the same trend of a predictable tariff as it will be worked by the regulator. So my duty as a licensee is to make sure that I operate a system in an efficient way to achieve the targets with low cost of capital. Then the regulator sets the tariff. And I believe from the tariff that was announced, it was based on those principles. So from the financial institution where we've got the money, ABSA, at least we've sourced capital lower than 10% of the interest on the money that we've borrowed. That is, on the market, it is very good interest rate. The repayment period is 5 years, amortized on equal installments with a gross period of 12 months. The first capital investment that we've sourced, 50, is for year 1. The model that we've designed for the business for sustainability, we shall also go for another 50 year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, to have a capital injection into the network of up to $250 million. Our initial plan was to invest up to $350 million. So the difference of 350 and 250 is $100 million, which the government have decided to bring in as seed capital from the payments of the buyout amount. The government has approved a seed capital that the payment for the buyout amount will not be paid back the same way it has been paid by Umeme, but it remain part of seed capital for the sector. So in that case, we shall be in a position to achieve our projected capital investment of $350 million for 5 years. We believe by that time, the network will be on another level, which we are projecting to be. So what we have to do as UEDCL is to make sure that we achieve those targets, and we shall achieve them. Because if we don't achieve them, we shall have a penalty through our cash collection or our bottom line, which we don't project because we believe that with the systems in place, the commitment of the staff and the team will be in a position to achieve those targets. The institution called UEDCL has no room, or we can't tolerate corruption. And in our governance structure, we've built up systems, controls, and digital environment that eliminate corruption. And to the side of the staff, if any of the staff is caught into that act of being corrupt, the disciplinary actions are taken. Here, we don't transfer people. If you're caught in the corruption side, you are dismissed. We call it fire. You are fired, dismissed or terminated. In simple terms, how much could we say that you are corrupt? Even if you get 10,000 shillings and there's evidence that this staff of UEDCL was paid this money as a corruption, that is it. The disciplinary action will be taken on you or on that person, and the staff will go. So we have zero tolerance to corruption, and that's why our performance has been good, because our people know that if you don't abide by the good governance and you go on the other side of the corrupt world, we don't have room for that. To the extent that although we have more than 65 offices, now we've hit 100. If you are corrupt in one location, we don't transfer you, because we don't transfer problems. A bad apple or a bad tomato in a basket cannot be transferred from this basket to the other. What we do, we remove it from the baskets and we put it somewhere else in the world to leave it to go. We don't have any room for corruption. Therefore, if there is any of the staff that we brought on board who is planning to do any act of that nature, they should just repent and be good followers of the law, and they forget about that practice if they have ever practiced it anyway. But in UEDCL, issues of corruption, there's no room for that at all levels for any transaction that is done. But we've also embarked on digitalization. We have found out that where there are digital environment, you eliminate human-to-human interaction. The little that remains can easily be arrested to manage corruption. For example, currently, all applications are done online, so there's no human intervention. When an application is received online, our technicians go to the site, do the inspection, and everything is recorded on our auto gadget. We call them mobile mappers. And when the information comes through, the next thing we see in the system that this customer is due for connection. And the system keep track, first come, first serve. So with those controls, we believe we've eliminated some of them. But Even the environment for prepayment, there is a way it has done a lot of work to manage corruption, because those days when people used to go to do meter reading, disconnection, reconnection, that was the source of those evil activities. But we don't have a business mechanism that accommodates that environment of postpaid. We've taken over some few meters which are postpaid. We have a plan to replace them gradually, and in a period of 2 to 3 years, they will be eliminated. We only remain with auto and remote environment. But again, we've tried as much as possible to blend our staff. Each of the staff that is going to be in the field, they should have our our safety gears, properly marked UEDCL, and with a number on the left and at the back. We wanted to use numbers because in our system, those numbers are registered and attached to a person. So if somebody is corrupt, don't waste your time, just take a photo of that number, send it to our whistleblowing system. We shall pick the number and track that staff and engage him accordingly. In our business design and what we do, we've observed that service delayed creates a room for a corruption mind. So we make sure that in addition to the digital environment, that we don't delay our service. For example, the issue of meters, we have meters in our stock. For the areas where we are operating, connections are ongoing, and that's the same thing we are going to do even in the Umeme territory. Because they had a backlog, what we've done is to spare quite a volume of meters, and we make sure that first come, first serve in the system. There's no overlap that should be allowed. But in case there's a corrupted staff and we get that person, my message is we shall deal with that person or that staff and will be fired, dismissed from the company, because we have zero tolerance on it. There's no room for it in UEDCL. Yeah, the oldest structure that we had was small, for about 500 employees and a few departments. So what we've done with the new mandate and expanded business, we have increased the departments from 6 to 12 departments because the staff numbers have increased from 500 to about 2,712 people. So, and the operations have also enlarged. So the structure has been beefed up. The controls in the structure have also been beefed up, and what we call our human resource management system, the IT environment, plus the performance control mechanisms in the system have also been beefed up, because each and every staff of UEDCL, every 6 months, they sign what we call performance agreements, which are captured online, evaluated 6 months, then they are after also evaluated 6 months to the end of the year to create an average for the year. So we've put up an environment that manages the big structure, that enhances controls on the performance for the results to be generated. The recruitment that we've done and all the employment offers we've done, we have received 100% acceptance. That means that people have joined UEDCL willingly, and they will work according to the structure and the remuneration available. What we need to appreciate, different countries have different challenges at different stages. We've done some benchmarks, discussions, forums to compare notes, but the phenomenon of taking over from private to government is actually new. Uganda should be celebrating that we are transferring a nationality from private operator with a natural end of the agreement coming back to a government, and we expect to perform much more. In some countries, the trend is from government to private. because maybe they've not tested some few issues, but we need to appreciate that we've reached a level of managing our own affair at the company, at the government, through good governance, through key performance indicators, through the performance agreement of the staff, through different controls. So we realized that, okay, there are some good lessons learned from those countries, but there are also some milestones onto which we are fairly ahead. So it is a benchmark that given us lessons learned, but at the same time giving us more ability and courage that we are on the right track. However, what we've observed also, most of the countries, especially in Africa and even in Europe, utility companies are managed by government agencies, and their collection rates are fairly high. So it means that the government is actually the best to manage utilities, because our collection rate on the grid is below 30%. But some of the countries, even the neighboring countries, their collection rate on the grid is above 70%, managed by the government. So those are some of the benchmarks, and we believe that this return will also enable the government to achieve the agenda of access. UMIME is a company, and it is a going concern company. They can do any business with us, we don't have any problem. But the license for power distribution, depending on their business model and their future of running the affair, there's no problem. If there's some works and we advertise and they compete through PPDA, they can come in. If they're the best, they can give it the tender. There's no problem. Yeah, they are like any other service provider. Our collaboration with all the sector players is very good, and the same way we've been running it, we expect to continue with it. And we need to thank the regulator for the support, the Ministry of Energy for the support, our main suppliers, transmission, and the generators for the support. You have to appreciate that we have so many suppliers on the generation side which feed through the transmission. All that collaboration and the relationship that we have through the value chain, we appreciate it, and we will continue for the better, because we believe we shall be providing a service for the better. As a distributor, being the converter of electrons into money, yeah, we pray that we shall continue to fulfill that environment to keep the sector commercially viable. Paul Mwesogwa is a chartered, certified public accountant who is a fellow of the Chartered Certified Accountant ACCA UK, with a Master's of Business Administration from Oxford Brookes University, UK, a degree in Economics from Makerere University. And I've been in the energy sector for the last 23 years, serving in different capacities as a financial controller, chief internal auditor, chief financial officer, and the managing director now. So I have a vast experience in the governance, in the change management, financial management, audit, leadership, everything as far as governance is concerned. So in brief, that is the gentleman you're talking with, Paul Mwesogwa. The main guiding principle that has made me move, respect. I attach that word respect on each and everything that I do. To the people that I work with, the job that I do, the service that I give, the integrity that I have to put. As an accountant, the biggest asset that I have is integrity. So I put respect as number one, the guiding principle.
New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream New Vision.